If you're a man past 60, what I'm about to tell you could spare you years of stress, lost money, and emotional damage. These are 5 hard truths most men only realize when it's already too late about relationships at this stage of life. Whether you're divorced, widowed, or you've been on your own for a long time, this is something you need to confront. We're constantly told that companionship is mandatory, that being alone is a failure. But what if remaining single is actually the most strategic move you can make right now? What if the standard relationship model no longer benefits you? And what if that's not a flaw but clarity? This isn't about resentment. It isn't about anger. It's about facing realities most people are too uncomfortable to admit. So if you're prepared for an unfiltered conversation that directly challenges what society keeps pushing, let's begin. Reason 1, your financial stability is at risk. Here is the hard fact. By the time you're over 60, you've spent a lifetime building what you have. Retirement funds, property, Social Security, maybe a pension if things worked out. This is the foundation that supports the rest of your life. After 4 decades or more of work, you've earned the right to protect it. But here's what's rarely discussed. Entering a serious relationship at this age can quietly threaten everything you planned so carefully. This goes far beyond paying for dinners or occasional trips. I'm talking about the real financial exposure that comes from blending lives this late in the game. Picture this clearly. You meet someone. The connection deepens. Then medical expenses appear and they're not fully covered. A procedure. Ongoing treatment. You step in because of course you do. You care. But just like that, money you set aside for emergencies is gone. And you never planned for it. Then come the blended family issues. Your grown children start worrying about what happens to their inheritance. Her grown children start monitoring every dollar you spend on their mother. You're trapped between tensions you didn't create. And these situations escalate fast. I've watched families fracture over money conflicts that began the moment an older man started a new relationship. And the legal side is far more complicated than it was when you were younger. Living together or marrying now means prenuptial agreements, estate revisions, beneficiary changes. One mistake, and what you intended to leave behind could be tied up in court for years. Here's the part that cuts deepest. Many men over 60 end up financially carrying partners who never prepared for retirement. Maybe she worked less. Maybe a divorce wiped her out. Maybe bad decisions were made along the way. The reason doesn't change the outcome. You spent 40 years securing your future, not becoming someone else's safety net. This isn't about being cold. It's about being calculated. Guard what you earned. Reason 2, you finally own your freedom. There's something most men never experience until now. Real freedom. Not a weekend away. Not a few hours to yourself. I mean complete control over how you live every day. Look back at your life. In your 20s and 30s, you were grinding, building, proving yourself. Managers, deadlines, constant pressure. In your 40s and 50s, it was kids, mortgages, tuition, family duties. Your time never truly belonged to you, but now it does. You can wake up when you want. No one questions it. You can spend an entire weekend buried in a project that matters only to you. You can leave for weeks and drive wherever you want just because you feel like it. But here's what changes when you enter a relationship at this age. Suddenly, every decision requires coordination. You don't just go play golf. You check in, you explain, you justify. She wants details. Where you're going, when you'll be back, who you'll be with. And yes, that's normal in relationships, but you already gave 40 years of your life to that structure. Now you're negotiating time again. She has plans you're expected to attend. Dinners you don't care about. Weekly obligations you didn't ask for. You wanted a quiet evening. She wanted something else. These sound minor. They aren't. They accumulate quickly. Then there are the social commitments. Events you don't enjoy. Conversations that mean nothing to you. Hours spent pretending interest because that's the price of being partnered. Many men tell me the same thing. They feel boxed in by the very dynamics they thought were behind them after divorce or loss. One set of responsibilities was replaced with another. And the question that matters is simple. Was giving up your freedom worth the companionship? Most can't honestly say it was. This stage of life is yours. After decades of prioritizing everyone else, you've earned the right to protect your time and energy. Don't surrender it casually. Reason 3, the reality of health and caregiving. This is the topic most people avoid, but it's the most important. If you take nothing else from this, pay attention here, because it can save you years of pain. After 60, health declines accelerate. That's not pessimism. That's biology. Conditions develop. Mobility changes. Limitations appear. And when you commit to someone now, you may also be committing to becoming a caregiver. Let's be direct. Men on average die earlier than women. That means statistically, if you form a serious relationship now, there's a strong chance You'll be the one providing care as her health deteriorates. I've seen this pattern repeatedly. You meet in your mid-60s. She's active, energetic, sharp. Everything feels easy. Then time moves forward. By 70 or 75, serious issues surface. Arthritis, diabetes, cognitive decline. Suddenly retirement isn't about freedom anymore. It's about appointments, medications, insurance calls, physical assistance. You're no longer traveling or relaxing. You're managing decline. And here's what no one warns you about. Caregiving erodes your own health. Depression increases. Anxiety rises. Physical problems follow. I've spoken to men who entered relationships with healthy partners and spent their entire 70s providing full-time care. One hasn't taken a vacation in years. Another can't leave the house without arranging supervision. This was never their vision of retirement. And now the hardest truth. If you become sick first, are you certain she'll stay? Or will you still end up alone, but now financially and legally entangled? I've watched it happen. The man falls ill, and the partner decides it's more than she wants to handle. The emotional damage is severe. The financial consequences linger. This doesn't mean everyone leaves. But at this stage, you must think long-term. Caregiving isn't romantic. It's draining. It's costly. And it reshapes your life. Don't commit unless you're prepared for that outcome. Reason 4, you are set in your ways. And that's not a flaw. Here's something rarely said out loud. You aren't rigid because you're stubborn. You're precise because you've optimized your life. After 60 years, you know exactly how you function best. You know your routines, your preferences, your limits. You've perfected the small details. How you take your coffee, the temperature you sleep at, the way your mornings flow. You understand how much social interaction you can tolerate before you need quiet. Your tolerance for chaos is gone, and rightly so. Dating culture insists flexibility is always necessary. Self-help, messaging pushes endless compromise. But you've already done that for decades through marriages, parenting, careers, extended families. You've earned the right to live on your own terms. When a new relationship enters the picture, those systems are disrupted. Schedules clash, habits conflict, sleep patterns don't align, meals happen at different times. Small differences become daily friction. I know a man who kept his home at a specific temperature for years. His partner demanded it be warmer. They argued over it for 2 years before separating. It sounds insignificant. It isn't. Daily discomfort compounds. The older you get, the higher the cost of incompatibility. What was tolerable at 30 becomes unbearable at 65. Time is no longer abundant. Every day carries weight. Wanting comfort isn't selfish. It's honest. You've earned the right to protect your peace. Reason 5, the drama you no longer need. By this age, you understand how short life really is. You've lost people. You've witnessed endings. You value calm because you've lived without it. And yet dating later in life comes with baggage. Heavy baggage. Ex-partners still exist. Financial ties linger. Emotional wounds remain open. You will hear about conflicts that have nothing to do with you. Adult children may view you with suspicion. They question your motives. They create distance. Family dynamics multiply. Friends interfere. Expectations pile up. You're pulled into issues spanning decades that you didn't create and can't resolve. On top of that, unresolved emotional issues surface. Old anger, trust problems, fear of abandonment, and suddenly, you're expected to manage it all. I've seen men become unpaid counselors, financial planners, and mediators, all while trying to enjoy retirement. Holidays spent diffusing tension, weeks filled with emotional crises that aren't yours. Ask yourself honestly if this is how you want to spend your remaining time. Peace has value. Don't exchange it for chaos disguised as companionship. You've already lived through enough drama. You're allowed to opt out. This doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world. It means questioning whether the traditional, serious relationship still serves you. There are other paths: friendships, casual dating, social groups, companionship without entanglement. Many men discover they're happiest when they control their time, money, and energy completely. They travel freely, spend deliberately, live intentionally, and they report more contentment than they ever had in long-term relationships. Some will worry about loneliness. That concern is valid. But understand this: a relationship doesn't guarantee connection. Some of the loneliest people are partnered. Being alone can be difficult. Being lonely beside someone else is far worse. You can protect yourself from isolation by building a full life. Stay connected. Stay active. Build community instead of placing all emotional weight on one person. In the end, this comes down to brutal self-honesty about what truly improves your life and what quietly drains it.